Morning, everyone. What a blessed day this will be. It's a while since I have posted anything, but I had a few messages to share. Just didn't get around to doing it quite yet because of the Christmas season and all of that. But I want to share a encounter that I had before I get into the message because I think it is relevant to the message. And some years ago, I experienced a situation where I were going through an all-night prayer. And not sorry, oh, sorry, we were going through a prayer and fast because in the church that I go to, almost every month we would have a period of time in which we pray and fast at the beginning of the month to set the tone for the rest of the month. And after the prayer and fast, up to 6 o'clock, of course, we had a meeting in the church. Uh, um, Persons who are in ministry meeting. And of course, me being in ministry, I am also a part of that. So the meeting finished about after 8 minutes to 9. I think I was heading home. And I was very hungry because I didn't eat from since early the morning at before 6 o'clock, I think. So while coming up in the maxi, because at the time I didn't have a vehicle, I was speaking to the Lord and I was asking the Lord, because I speak to God on everything. I speak to God on everything, sometimes even what to cook. I will talk to the Lord to get his feedback as to what he thinks I should cook. Because I treat the Lord like if he is my friend and I talk to him all the time. So I'm talking to him in my mind and I'm asking the Lord, I'm hungry and I don't know what to eat. What should I eat, Lord? And I hear in my spirit, Subway. So I said, okay, I'm going to buy a Subway. But I have a dog to feed and I'm going to go buy Hearty Food to get something for the dog to cook. To get the dog something to eat too. So I said, all right, I'm going to buy Subway. So let me go buy Hearty Food first and then, which is a grocery. And then I'll go to get the Subway. While I'm on my way to the grocery now to buy something for the dog, another voice come. You're going and buy Subway? Why you don't buy a tin of corned beef? I mean, yeah, you eat for the day. And if you cook corned beef, it don't take long to cook. You can cook corned beef and rice and you can get a hot meal before you go and sleep and you can break the gas on your chest. So it makes sense to me. So, yeah, that's true. I go buy a tin of corned beef and I go home and cook it. So I went and I buy the corned beef and I buy the thing for the dog and I was going to get a taxi now and I'm on my way to get a taxi. The first voice that told me to buy Subway come back to me now and say, I tell you buy Subway, you go on and buy corned beef. So I started feeling guilty. So I say, Lord, Father, forgive me. I say, sorry. I say, because you already tell me, to buy the Subway. I say, but if it's anything, I will buy the Subway still and I will use the corned beef for another day. So I went by Subway and I buy my Subway and I went home. When I went home now, I sit down and I eat my Subway and I make sure my belly was full before I even started cooking the dog food. So I go on in the kitchen to cook the dog food now and there was no gas. And I start to laugh. And I start to give God praise and thanks because I say, see how sometimes we don't even know what is best for us. But God see and know all things. Now, my point about that story is this. The enemy will always come at you whenever you have decisions to make concerning your life decisions. Because this is the contrast that the Lord began to show me. The difference between Subway and corned beef ain't no big difference. God could tell me buy corned beef too. But God know it had no gas home. So he didn't have to tell me, give me no explanation. I asked him what to do and he just give me one word, buy Subway. Subway, as a matter of fact, he didn't say buy Subway. All I hear is Subway. One word. He didn't give me no explanation as to why to buy the Subway. But the enemy come now with logic and an explanation because he don't want to convince you to do something that he will laugh at because what was going to happen to me if I hadn't buy the Subway? I would have been hungry. I might have gotten gas pain. I might have a belly run because of the fact that gas on my stomach and uncomfortable. Wouldn't be able to sleep for the night. But it wasn't a life and death situation. But yet still, the enemy find himself in that decision that I had to make. He find and wiggle his way in that to influence me to go the wrong way. And that was something minor because the most he would do is be able to laugh at me if I was feeling sick. But yet still, he came into that situation to get me to do the wrong thing. And for me, that was a life lesson because if I have to make a decision concerning my life that is going to alter the outcome of my life, how much more is he going to be invading my decisions in order to try to get me to go on the wrong path? And therefore, the decisions you make, you have to be so very careful that you seek ye first Lord's guidance, because God don't need to give me an explanation as to why I needed to buy Subway. He expects me to trust him when he tell me what to do. But the enemy, on the other hand, will always try to tell you in a way, using logic and sense, that this is not the way to go. Because sometimes when God give you a direction or a directive as to what to do, you don't, to you on the outside at the time in your life where you are, it don't look like it's the best solution. It don't look like that is sure boy, because I ain't saying that. But you know what? My God says, my ways are higher than your ways. No, sorry, my thoughts are higher than your thoughts, and my ways are past finding out. Because you see, you can't see what I see. I can see what will happen 10 years from now in your life. And therefore, the decision I am telling you to make now is what's going to affect your life 10 years from now and still be good. Now, you might make a decision that's looking good because it's appropriate for the time and the season that you're going through in your life. But remember, in life, we go through many seasons. And therefore, what I'm telling you is what is going to be able to sustain you, not just one season, but seasons to come. This decision that you have to make, I will be able, whatever you have to do, it is going to be able to sustain you. So therefore, when these seasons change, you got to come and cry out to me and boo-hoo and say, Father God, look at what the situation I'm in, and this situation didn't work out, and all of that, because I already know what coming in your life, what is supposed to be in your life 10 years, 20 years from now. I know what kind of foundation and legacy I want you to build. I know what you have to do. Your plan, your life was written by me. I am the one who write your story. So therefore, the story you're living is one that was already completed. It was completed like Christ said, I do that which my Father do, and I say that which my Father already said. Why did he say that? Because it was already done before he came in the earth. And God said, I will show you the end from the beginning. So I would walk you through your life and then send you to the earth to live your life. So every decision you have to make, I already have an ordained this pathway for you. Set out, I already written it. So you can't really make a mistake because you walking according to what I design your life to be. But of course, man still have a freedom of choice. So you could walk a different path. And that is why when you walk a different path, you just get blows. And when man, life not in alignment with the path that God has for them, they just get licks. And licks doesn't come from a physical place, but come from a trial place. You just start to experience serious trials in your life because your path, you're on is the wrong path. And therefore, God is going to want you to get on the path. And that is a sign that you're on the wrong path. And where do you want me to go? Because we know the enemy will come to try you, He will come to try you. And sometimes you make a mistake in the earlies. But it comes a time in your life when a man gets so in tune with the Spirit of God that he know that this is the path to walk, because God is going to guide him along that path. He's going to come and give you guidance, but sometimes we don't know the voice of God yet. And we make mistakes. But as you continue to grow in Him, you get to understand His voice. And you get to know not to avoid pitfalls. So I am saying this to talk about the fact that sometimes we as people, especially men, and I want to address men especially in particular, because it tends to happen a lot with men, because women are more intuitive. A woman will be able to decide and make a decision without having logic to it. So a woman is more on the side of, I would say, the most high when it comes to decision making, because we have that intuitive nature that stems from being a mother. I think the fact that we are mothers, we have that innate nature to know, because we could sense things that we can't explain as to why we should go this way or why we should do that. And a woman may tell her husband, listen, you see that thing there? I ain't getting a good feeling about that thing there. That thing in looking right. Don't go down and do that. And he go say, well, give me an explanation now. So what you mean it ain't looking right? What you mean thing? She can't explain, but something inside her she telling she, because she have that, she senses are more higher, because she's had a sense when something wrong with she child. You understand what I'm saying? So we have that gifting inside of us where we have a sense certain thing as mothers. Plenty of women may not know how to tap into it, but we all have it, and they may not be tapping into it because we so much caught up in society. But if a woman is also spiritually gifted that you're walking this life with, she will be picking up on things that she can't explain to you from a logical point of view, but she could tell you that thing ain't gonna work out. Now, you may go against what she say, and it really ain't gonna work out, and you go, well, like, I should have listened to my wife, boy, what she was saying is true. Now, she didn't make sense at the time. Like, God, she ain't making sense because she ain't getting no explanation proper. But there's something inside her she'll tell you, don't go down that road. But men are more logical. They have to see how this thing connecting. They have to see how 1 and 1 is 2, and 1 and 2 and 1 is 3. But a woman will jump from 1 to 3 or to even 4 without even filling in the gap between 1 and 1 equal 2 or 1 and 1, 2 and 1 equal 3. And men don't understand that gifting that women have, so they tend to, make mistakes a lot sometimes. And as you have to support them whether they make a mistake or not, because sometimes you just have to go along with the decision, even though you know they're going wrong. But at least you had an opinion to give them, and you just have to love them through it anyway, whether they make a mistake or not. Be there for them and support them still. But the message about this is that a man focus sometimes, and what could be women too, is always on one thing at a time. A man can multitask like a woman. And in life, we sometimes tend to put off things that we had to do in life, or for our family, for ourselves. We put it off for another day, hoping to get another time period when we want to fix this. So if let me say I want to go and get married, but I don't have a stable job yet. I mean, I have a job, but it ain't a permanent job, and I want to get a permanent job before I'm married, because I don't want to put my wife and me through no unnecessary struggle. So I'm looking for a permanent job. Oh, I might want to buy a house, but I waited to get married to buy the house. And nothing could be so far such a big mistake that men just do and waste time. Because men just waste a lot of time, trying to put things in place and to fix everything to be this way in order to start to live the life, or in order to make an offer to a woman, or in order to do certain things. I had to put this in place first because I had to get my money right, and I had to get this right, and I had to get that right, and I had to fix that part, and I had to make sure that part in order first. And while planning is good, it's good to leave room for God to move, because if God already guide you in a particular direction, take what I'm telling you. Don't waste no time thinking and planning and how we go work out, how we think go work out. If this good thing, this had to be there, that had to be there. Hello, God say go so, you just go so. Don't even bother to try to figure out how we go, because you know why? If God tell you go so, he have a plan. He is the one with the master plan. And he already tell you go so. So if he tell you go so, he telling you, he have a reason why he telling you go so. You taking too long to go so could make you miss the mark, miss your call, miss your blessing. You know much thing you could miss because you delay in going so. Because when you go so, God know what doors he going to open so for you. He already had the plan. He had the key to every door on that side. But you're still in this position here because you want to fix things, because you feel that as a man, I'm supposed to do it this way. And I want to fix this. And I want to have this. And I want to achieve this. Physical things that does not have a spiritual impact in your life. Your spiritual life is more impacting on your physical life than your physical life is impacting on your spiritual life. Because everything that must happen for you must first happen in spirit before it come into the physical. It must happen in the spiritual realm. And then it had to transfer. But if you ain't trust God enough to step out in faith, knowing because without faith it's impossible to please God, you know. Because the fact that you're delaying to make a move, it means to say you have no faith in the word of God. And when you know your God, the only thing you need from him is a word, you know. Because God says, seek a word from me. He tell me that personally. I'm sorry. Seek a word. Don't trust your emotions. Don't trust your feelings or how you feel and what people say. Trust my word. Because hear what? Your feelings could go up and down like a seesaw. Today you're feeling sick, tomorrow you're feeling thick. Today you're angry, tomorrow you're feeling love. Your feelings just shift during the course of the day. So your feelings can be deceiving to you. And the enemy knows your feelings just make you act and make you do things according to your feelings. So here what's happening? He could come and make you do a wrong decision because of your feelings too. He can make you feel what he wants you to feel and make you make one set of mistakes. So God said, don't trust your feelings. He said, trust my word. So seek me for a word in what you want to do. And when I give you that word, no matter what it sounds like, what it feels like, what people say about it, you hold on to that word and you step out in faith, knowing that I give you a word. And I will perform it, because the only thing that God holds higher than himself. And I tell people that people say, you can't make God do anything and you mustn't tell God what to do and whatever. But I find a secret in how to get God to do what I want him to do. I found the secret. And the secret is, you must get a word. Because the only thing that God holds higher than himself is the word. So God can't go back on his word. Because he said, I hold my word. God is the one who put the word above himself. I hold my word above myself. He said, bring me into remembrance of my word so that I could perform it. Because even if I want to go back and change my mind, I can't change my mind because I give you a word. And I have to fulfill that word in your life. So the only thing will come to pass in your life is my word. So therefore everything else is fruitless. And here what happened? The Bible also tells you, live each day as if it's your last. Do not fret about where you go eat and where you go wear and where you go this and where you go that. And these things you want to put in place, because here what happening? I just clothe the lilies in the valley and they just die out in a matter of a week or 3 or 4 days. And just feed the birds and them in the sky and they eat. Much more for you, who I created in my image and my likeness. You feel like going to leave you hungry and starving? Whatever I put in your truth, because I want to teach you how to trust me. And that is what God wants to know. Seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, and everything will be added in them. You don't have to run down money. You know, money goes start to run you down when you start to seek ye first the kingdom. And the kingdom means seeking a relationship with God to the place where it's part. You understand that everything he say, you do. You don't ask. I reach a place in my life, I don't ask no question. When the Holy Spirit say, I say, okay. I don't ask no question. And because of that, I have run through troops and I have leaped over walls and I have accomplished so much in my life that it was almost impossible for me to be able to accomplish, because it wasn't done by natural forces, it was done by a supernatural force. Because when God say, buy that, I didn't say, I ain't have no money, Lord, how am I buying that? He said, buy that. I started to look for that one time. Okay. I started to buy that. I bought a van and I didn't cater for the van that I bought, and I didn't have money to buy the van. I'm telling you, I didn't have money to buy the van. I go into work, I bought a car just 2 years before and the car was in good condition and almost new car. And God is like, I pass in and then he say, buy one of them Hilux van passing, and he said, buy one of those. I said, buy one of those? I said, okay. Me and ask him, Lord, where the money coming from? How I get the money? I don't know if I could pay for it, Lord. I said, okay. That was my response, and I went looking for the van. I went looking now for a second-hand van, because he didn't tell me whether to buy a new or second-hand one. He just said, buy one of those. So I went looking for a second-hand, because that's what I could afford. So I tried to get myself a second-hand 2-year-old vehicle or whatever the case may be, and everywhere I go, I get shut down. I tried looking at the new ones. I said, okay, well, I go look at a new one, but yeah, man, Lord, I can't afford this. I just money here, the installment, I can't make that. I say, you know what? So I paused him because I'm waiting for the guy to get one of those vans for me. I have a friend in, one of the car dealership, and I'm waiting for him to get one of the second-hand ones for me. And I'm waiting. But while I'm waiting now, I'm morning, I'm going to work, and I pass a Colorado on the road. And I'm like, but I never see these vans on the road. Yet that time Colorado very scarce on the road. I said, I never see these vans on the road before. I said, well, not much of them. I said, I will call the place because they're not too far from where I work at the time. I will call the place and see where's the price and how it's going. Because in my mind, I tell myself, I just hardly see these vehicles on the road. So it must be a cheap. It might be cheaper than the others because it's not popular. No, mind you, my ignorance is a hell of a thing, I didn't know that the van scares because the van is a high-ranking vehicle in comparison. I didn't know that. My ignorance, so I called the people. The sales guy checked me same day. Me and the sales guy still friends up to this day. He checked me same day, he come. He said, I'll cry if I drive it. He may tell me some of the features, thing. He tell me, come and think to work out. And the man was giving me such a nice sale pitch. I decided, okay, let me go. Next thing I know, long story short, in 2 weeks' time, I am the owner of a Colorado. You understand what I'm saying? A new, not a second hand, but a new brand one. Because at the time when God told me buy that, I was looking for a second hand. You see how we just think low? And God thoughts are really higher than our thoughts. But God had a Colorado for me. And I looking for a second hand vehicle. And he telling himself, no, darling, that's not what you're going to drive. I'm going to give you a Colorado. You get? And I'm like, okay. I get the vehicle. I get it at a price I could afford to pay to. You understand? So I go on now. And I'm telling people I buy a Colorado, a Chevy Colorado. And everybody like, Chevy? You buy a Chevy? So I want to know now, where's the issue with Chevy that everybody like the stuff in with shocks when I say I buy a Chevy? So hear me now. So then somebody will say, girl, you know that Chevy is one of them high-ranking vehicles like BM and Mercedes-Benz and all that. I say, you lie. My jaw dropped down. I had to roll it back up because I saw shock. I say, you lie. Now I had to come back now and give God praise and tell God, that is what you do for me. That is what you do for me. Because I was not anticipating that at all. You see where I was going second hand? You turn and buy now a new brand vehicle for me. And I tell myself, it's a cheap vehicle because I just hardly see it on the road. Not knowing it cheap because it is a high-ranking vehicle. He make it affordable at a price I could pay. And I never had to worry about how to pay for it. I never had the payment yet. Even though at the time I could not have afforded to buy a vehicle like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't live by my thoughts and what I feel and why I feel. If God give me a word, that settles it for me and the baby. That's where it is. If God say go so, that's what he mean. Go so. And me going to stick and say, God, why I should go so? God, I don't know if I could go so. You hear my response? Okay. You understand? That's my response. He said, do this. I said, okay. God is in everything I do, I am building my house. And the plan of God for my house is in the hands of God. It's not my design, It's God designing the building and the building. You understand? When I go in and do the thing, God say, put this here, so. Put up these glass blocks here. God is a master architect of everything. Do it this way. Why ain't put something there, so? Do this. Or you go send me somebody to think, yes, you could put it like that and you could do that. To give me ideas of what to do. So when the man say, okay, we're building, let me see the plan. I say, sweetheart, the plan going to come after the house and building. Because I can't put a plan in place and get it approved. Because when God tell me put this here, go change the plan. So I can't get a plan here. The plan is in my head. And I can give you a little draft of what I want. But I can't get you a plan. So here what happening. We go in with what I have in my head. And when we done do it, we go draw a plan and get the plan approved. Because I don't leave room for God to say, nigga, do this, or do that, or do the other. So sometimes we, as people, just want to feel we're too much in control. And we miss the mark. So many people want to travel and to do things. I wait until I retire to travel. Look at what come and happen when COVID hit the world. Many of them die and never leave the country one day in their life yet because they want to put certain things in place before they do certain things. Or you may reach retirement and they might get sick and they can't even travel. So that I put off nothing for tomorrow. I put off nothing for tomorrow. What I can do today, I do it. I want to travel, I travel in today. You understand what I'm saying? I'm traveling today because I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I may not live to see tomorrow, but I'm living to see today. So I'm doing what I could do today. You understand? Because my God say, fret not thyself. He say, I will provide. I am a Jehovah Jireh. And listen, I'm not squandering money. Not because I'm saying that I'm going to say God and squander, because to be reckless is something different. But I'm saying, live your life. And live it to the fullest. You want to get married, get married. You want to make a child, don't wait for nothing else to make a child. Because by the time you're waiting for things to go into place to make a child, your wife now, womb might end up with fibroids or ovarian cysts. And then she can't make children next 5 years from now when things in place. And the enemy knows that. So when you're waiting for one thing to put in place in order for you to move on with your life in another direction, the enemy is going to block you. Without one thing, that could have settled in a matter of a year or whatever, go take 5, 6, 10 years, and even 10 years from now, if you're still waiting for that one thing to be in place in order to live your life, it's going to go on, and you're going to be fighting with that one thing for years and still can't achieve it. And when you look back, the years running and you ain't going away because you're waiting for that one thing to put in place. My God is a God that is able to do many things at the same time. And that is why we as his image have to be able to do many things at the same time. And trust him. Because let me tell you something. He knows how to give you a house. He knows how to put money in your bank account. He knows how to give you everything in a twinkle of an eye. You understand? So you don't have to plan it so tightly. Now you have to make a plan. But if your plan not coinciding with God's plan, leave room for God to upset your plan and change it. Don't be so fixed in your plan that it can't be so. Because you're not seeing it. Because God say, trust me even when you can't see me. It means to say, I may not give you an explanation like me with the subway. But when I give you a word, trust that word again and step out in faith, because that is where God love. God love when we step out in faith without even knowing what the outcome will be. We don't know where this thing will lead to. He ain't showing the big picture, but you know what? I trust him, so I'm stepping out in faith. When you step out in faith, that God is opening doors. Because if you want the door to open, then you start to see the picture now coming together. How it's going to work out, what is going to happen, how it's going to happen. Because he start to reveal to you now, this is yes, put that day, do so. Because you know why? You trust him and you step out in faith. So don't put off for tomorrow what could be done today. Too many men are failing in life because they keep putting off things that they can step out in faith in because they didn't get a clear understanding. They see the whole picture. And they wonder why women are now so much more successful than man. The average woman has she car, she think and she move into what she house and she get in it. And these men and them seem to be stuck. But they're stuck because you know why? They want to put everything in place in order to step out. And you don't have to put nothing in place because God already have everything in place for you. So you just have to step out. Step out, take a step. Don't even study, especially if you're not seeing it, don't even study what will happen a year from now, 2 years from now. You're overthinking, you're over wasting time, you're setting up your blood pressure. You're thinking. And if you're thinking, it means that the enemy talking to you because here's what's happening. If you be thinking, is the enemy telling you, boy, you sure that thing will work out? Look, boy, look at that situation. You ain't working, she ain't working. Or they want to make a child now? If they make a child now, how do you mind that child? Look at the price of milk for the thing. Look at the Pampers. What about this? What about that? And you telling yourself, boy, we renting a place and I really want a child, but we can't afford it. Your wife's telling you, well, again, older, babes, let me really make a child now. Nah, we can't make a child now, look, we can't afford it because here's what's happening. I only gain so much money and your salary, you can barely pay the rent and we go make a child now. Look how expensive Pampers. Look at the price of tomatoes. $25 a pound for tomato in the grocery. We go make a child now. Much less of milk and Pampers. I mean, a China expensive thing. Let me hold out a little bit now. Let me see if I can get a better job. I'm working towards getting a better job. But you know what? The economy getting tighter and tighter and you can't get a better job. But let me tell you something. Children just come with their own damn bread basket. God, when he send a child in the earth, he send provision for that child. And I could tell you that because when I make my daughter, I wasn't working no way. She father wasn't working. No way, we were young. He wasn't working and I wasn't working. But we making child. You understand what I say? We making child and we ain't working no way. But child come in. And you know what? During that period, while I was pregnant with my daughter, I was so lucky. Money started to come and follow me, and that way I started doing my nuts business. I'm a woman with many ideas, and I could have gone and expand that business, but I didn't expand it because of the fact that heat, I didn't want to crack up myself and give myself all kind of cold to bend me up when I get older. So I had to eventually stop it. But I make money for years doing nuts business, and it started from when I was pregnant with my daughter. So money started to come to me, and her father gets sour. Nothing do could work. Nothing he do could work. But when she born, it's as if something was lifted. And money started to flow for myself, for she father, for my mother. The child never one day run out of milk or pampers. She never one day had a lack. But remember, we wasn't working away. We didn't have an income. My mother was working, doing cleaning, and she salary was just $3 something a fortnight at the time. $300 something a fortnight. And she's the only person that can help me. And I'm making child on top of that. You think it's easy? You understand? But you know what? The child come with your own bread basket. The child brings your own luck. The child brings your own financial provision. You understand? And as a result of that, things start to get better. The child up to this day, she's 34 years now, and never one day did she ever have to go hungry. Never one day she was in lack. And I wasn't working no way. And she father wasn't working no way at the time. So sometimes, even though you might have pay rent to pay, that child will come and open a door for you and your wife that always struggling to open it. And the minute that child come into all their life, and God put that child in all their life, you get a good job. She get a new job because she had the skill all the time, but it wasn't happening. But doors that was closed begin to open. Sometimes the step that God asks you to make is to open new avenues for you. Sometimes even the person that God bringing into your life, all them is struggling to achieve, he gain your way, yes, but he bringing somebody who will help you to alleviate the struggle. And sometimes that one person will join forces with you. That woman that you must want to marry to, that you procrastinate because you ain't have a house and anything. When that woman come into your life, a new door go open, and you know, all you might not buying a house together. All you go in and buying a house together, and money go start to flow because she energy or she life force. And your life force, when they come together, create a bigger life force, which causes the mountains to move now for both of you. But you ain't want to connect with the woman properly to make that mountain move. You're waiting to put everything in place and trying to figure it out. God already figured it out, so baby. All you need to know is that if God is in agreement with whatever decision they're making. Now, if God not in agreement with the decision they're making, don't make it, because you're going to make a mistake. You're going to waste time in your life. If you're going to make a decision and God is not in alignment with the decision, baby, do not make it. It could look how good. It could look how sexy. It could look how appetizing. If God not in alignment with that decision, do not make it. And that is when you're supposed to procrastinate. When God not in alignment with the decision. So many of us, we may not have the ability, but we need to start to give God the honor that is due to him. We need to start to check and develop our relationship with our Father. And when I say relationship, I ain't saying you have to be religious, because religion and relationship is two different things. And we have learned a lot of religion in our life, and a lot of times we run away from God because of what religion has taught us and what religion tell us that God is. And half the time, what they tell us God is, almost 99% of the time, God is not. And therefore, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So people stay away from God because it's too rigid to walk with God. But Father God is real loving. I mean, he has certain things that he would ask you to give up, yes, because it will not allow you to elevate. It gives the enemy room to operate in your life. Because these things that he asks you to give up is things that create an opening in your life for the enemy to come and bring destruction to your life and hurt to your life. because the enemy cannot attach itself to you if you're vibrating in light, if you're vibrating at a high level. You understand? Because your vibration too high. The enemy can only come and attach itself to you if there's darkness in you. If there's things in you that you need to let go of, he will use the darkness to turn your life into misery. But if you're operating in light and there's no darkness in you, he can't touch yourself, because darkness cannot attach to light, because light always will dispel darkness. So, yes, many of us may not know God like that, but it's time for us to really get to know our Father, because you need to operate at a higher level in order to be able to run through troops and leap over walls and accomplish more, because there's nobody that God is in God's life that is ever be under that distress to the point where they die a pauper or they die in lack. No, you're not seeking money. You're not seeking money, because when you seek money, you put yourself in a position to be also a captive to the enemy, because you will have you running down money. You're seeking God. And when you seek God, money will run you down. Opportunities will come to you that you did never expect it to come. People will see you and see the light in you and want to give a favor. Something about you. I don't know why this, I just want to help you. Why? Something about you. They're confused. They're confused people. I don't know what it is about you. Why it is, again, this pull towards you. Why it is I can't resist. I'm watching you. I mean, there are plenty of other candidates there. But something about you. You might be the best qualified person for the job, but you come for the interview and everybody else have all the list of degrees from here to. But you might just have a 1-page degree. You're lacking experience, but something in your spirit, something about you connect to me and telling me, no, you see that is the one I want you to live up. Like Joseph, who come out of the prison, who the dream was only having dreams, and he was a prisoner, but he ended up being the second in command after Pharaoh, though. But he was a prisoner. So don't despise people because of the small beginning. You understand? Do not look down at people because of the small, humble beginning. Because Joseph was a prisoner. But he ended up being the second in command, running the whole of Egypt. A prisoner. So don't try to tell yourself, well, never put yourself down and tell yourself you can't do certain things. Learn to develop a relationship with your Father. Learn to hear and know his voice. Learn to take a word from him, pray about it, and ask him to give you a word and show you any way to go. Guide you any way to go, that you don't make mistakes. And when he gives you that word, hold on to that word. And move in the direction of that word, even though you can't understand it, even though you don't know how it will work out, because he has the plan. He's the man with the master plan. And that is all you need. For he to have a plan for your life. And if he didn't give you a word on that, or if he tell you don't go, don't go. Don't go. Okay? I know I could give you more examples of where God will tell, in my own experiences, when he was trying to train me how to listen to him, how he would tell me to do certain things. And, in your youthful days, you didn't understand the voice of God too much. So sometimes you get it, sometimes you miss it. And I make mistakes, and he still showed me how I went left, and when I went left, the trouble I end up in. But he still guide me out of it, but just to show me that, listen, when you don't do what I'm telling you to do, this is the kind of things that's happening in your life. This is the kind of trials you just go through, because you didn't follow my guidance. So eventually, as I start to learn how I'm making mistakes because I listened to the wrong voice, I start to learn how to hear the right voice. It's something that takes a little time to fine-tune. In the beginning, you may miss, and you will get it. Sometimes you wouldn't get it, you miss it, you get it. But eventually, there will time to come, you will know the voice. Because the Bible says, my sheep hear my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. Because he will teach you now how his voice, how he speaks to you, how he will come to you, and you will know when he's talking to you. You don't have a dream to get to know when he's talking to you. He will start to talk to you normal. And that's when he start to talk to you normal, people can't hide nothing from you. People can't play games with you, because they will tell you a thing, and then, while they're talking to you and tell you a thing, the Holy Spirit telling you the line. Just so. His voice coming and telling, they're talking to you and telling you a story, and while they're telling you this story, he in your head telling you that they say that day, that is a lie. That day is a lie. Don't buy that lie. You know what that is? And while the person talking, he telling you exactly what went on. And you're watching the person so. Because you're telling you, say, okay, if you say so. But my God telling me something in my head right now. And it's not lining up with what you're saying. And who am I going to believe, you or am I going to believe the voice of God? So people just can't pull wool over your eye. When you learn to know the voice of God, and that's why people sometimes doesn't like it, because people like darkness. And very few people are very honest and straightforward. So they come with you with a set of tricks. And it is vexed when they see through the tricks. Because they started saying now he's a witch. Because how you know that? But you know the voice of God. And God will never lead his children in the wrong path. He will always come and tell them what to do and give them strategies. And they go wrong when they decide to disobey the strategy of the Lord and what he's telling you to do. That is when they go wrong. So I just want to leave that with you. Thank you very much for hearing me out. And until the next time.